evening. Shortly, the Chancellor, the Honourable Michael Egan AO, and the academic procession will enter the graduation hall. Once they've reached their positions on the stage, Advance Australia Fair will be played, and we invite you to join in the singing of the National Anthem. Would you please stand for the academic procession?
Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country.
Thank you. Budri Ngini, everyone. Good evening, and Nalawa. Welcome to the lands of the Wallamedigal. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish to firstly pay my respects to the country and its people, and to thank the university for their acknowledgement of us, and for the invitation to welcome you here this evening. That acknowledgement is important for our people and much appreciated. My family, in fact, descend from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the Burruburungal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it. And so he enrolled his daughter, Bulungari, or Maria, into the Native Institute, a school set up in 1815 by Governor Macquarie, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. Maria studied there for several years and used her newly acquired skills to lobby and ultimately secure some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other Aboriginal families soon joined them and became known as the Blackstown, where the present-day city of Blacktown gets its name. We're very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here today. And with good reason. Your success is our success. Your advancement, our advancement. Now, that was probably better understood in traditional times when camp groups were smaller and clans abided by strict sharing laws, which meant that the food that you caught and brought back was distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your skills and good fortune were thus enjoyed by all. Your efforts literally nourished the rest of the community, and you in turn were looked after by them. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we work together. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly lived well in many respects, and I use occasions like this to offer them to yourselves as a benchmark or a model on how good to expect our lives today. You see, when Captain Cook arrived here a little over 200 years ago, he encountered a people he described as one of the happiest people he had ever met. They owned nothing but the tools they carried, made their shelters from the bark of trees without cutting them down, and harvested food from the earth without excessive tilling or clearing. Now, these were not primitive societies, these were ancient cultures. There was no slavery, no rich and poor, no homelessness, no rents, mortgages or jails. People cooperated to collect the resources which were needed, and then they were distributed according to strict Aboriginal law. Our lands were maintained in their natural state with fire and responsible harvesting. Our rivers and waterways kept clean and unpolluted, with people drinking out of them as they have done here for the past 20,000 years. Now remember, this is not a dream or an ideal. This is normal life and has been for the longest time. And I don't see any reason why we should expect less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. Admittedly, there's a lot more of us, but we're a clever people and there is still much magic in the world. So graduates, I would say expect great and wonderful things from your life. Life is normally good and we are naturally a happy people. I would ask you to share your gifts with the rest of us though, and keep following that beautiful spirit within you that got you this far. I think you do that, and together we can put together a country and a world we can be proud of, and one that is worthy of our children. We can all do our bit. I'll do mine by winding up and letting you graduate. Just want to say congratulations to all of you, and all the best in our collective futures. Thank you, and welcome to country. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce the Chancellor of Macquarie University, the Honourable Michael Egan, AO.
Thank you, Chris Tobin, for your welcome to country. Well, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, first I want to thank all of you for coming. A graduation ceremony is a very important celebration of achievement, the achievements, of course, of our graduands, but also of the university as well. So it's very good that you're here, and I'm very grateful that you are. I also want to especially thank those of you who have brought children with you. It's good for them that they're here, because their memories of today may one day be the thing that inspires them to emulate the successes of today's graduands. And their presence is also good for us, because every celebration is enhanced by the presence of children. Now, unless children have changed enormously since I was a child, few of them, at least the tiny tots, will be able to stay quiet or still for the duration of the graduation ceremony. I don't expect them to, I don't want them to, and I don't want parents to worry if they don't. They are most welcome and please let them run around and make as much commotion as they like. Well, now, the important thing today is that our graduands have a great day. I hope that this will be a very happy and memorable occasion for all of you, but you will only enjoy the day if you all relax. Most of you look very relaxed and happy. Some look rather nervous, as though you're about to go into the exam room rather than collect your degrees. I can assure you nothing can go wrong tonight, absolutely. Well, that's not quite true. Sometimes people come up here and trip and fall over. That's why all these people are here. They get paid a lot of money to pick you up and send you on your way. So please just sit back and relax, because you deserve to enjoy the evening. You deserve to take pride, great pride, in your graduation. Completing a degree is never easy. You need an intelligent and inquiring mind. You need determination and perseverance, and you need to make many sacrifices. So welcome and congratulations to each and every one of you. I also want to congratulate all of you who are here tonight as the guests of our graduands, because if you think about it for a moment, the very fact that you've been invited by one of our graduands to share one of the great days of their lives is proof positive that you've been very important in their lives and in the successes that we celebrate tonight. And I don't want you to think either that observing today's graduation is the end of your role. I have another important service for you to perform for our newest graduates, as they will soon become. I want you to make sure that the degrees they receive tonight are never ever put in a bottom drawer, but are always proudly displayed in a position of prominence. In other words, if our graduands are too self-effacing to proclaim their own success, you make sure that you do it for them. Now, the ceremony that we're about to participate in is one of the world's oldest social rituals. For centuries, graduates have been donning robes just like the ones our graduands are wearing today, and participating in ceremonies just like this one. Indeed, there are some 50 universities in the world which can trace their history back more than 500 years. Now, obviously, Macquarie University is not one of them. We're a very young university. We celebrated our 50th Jubilee only 4 years ago. We proudly take our name from Australia's greatest colonial governor, Governor Lachlan Macquarie, a man whose greatness and achievements were never acknowledged by his contemporaries, but only by history. Those of us who went to school in New South Wales were taught that Macquarie was a great builder, and he was. But his greatest legacy had nothing to do with bricks and mortar. His greatest legacy was the ethos he established, much to the annoyance of the British authorities at the time, of an egalitarian society, because it was Macquarie's insistence that in this fledgling convict colony there be no distinction between the free and the freed that was the foundation of the Australian notion of a fair go for all. And that is a legacy that here at Macquarie we will always aim to maintain and honour. After our first 54 years, we now have more than 184,000 Macquarie graduates living in 142 countries. Macquarie is a very modern and outward-looking university. We're now ranked in the top 2% of the world's universities. From our beginnings, we have defied the traditional boundaries of academia. We've pioneered and continue to pioneer learning and teaching approaches that challenge conventions and shift thinking. Our students play a major role in their own learning and are empowered to guide what and how they learn. We're also research pioneers. Our framework for the future, world-leading research with world-changing impact, is brought to life by renowned researchers whose bold and innovative solutions to issues of global significance are of enormous benefit to the world we live in. And by the way, that is not an idle boast. I'm sure that almost everyone here at some stage uses or makes use of Wi-Fi. Now, Wi-Fi was developed not at Harvard University or Oxford or Cambridge or Stanford or Melbourne or Sydney University. No, Wi-Fi was developed by Macquarie University scientists in conjunction with scientists from the CSIRO. And that's something we're, I think, rightfully very proud of. And by the way, the research that's currently underway at Macquarie is no less significant. I'm sure all of you will be aware of the very recent death of Professor Stephen Hawking, a brilliant scientist and a marvellous and inspiring man. The disease he fought almost all of his life was motor neurone disease, and I'm very proud to say that our Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences is at the forefront. In fact, I think it's fair to say we are the Australian leader in helping to find a cure for that dreadful disease. And you might have noticed in the media recently that there's been a few shark attacks, mainly this week in Western Australia, but in recent times on the north coast of New South Wales. And I'm also pleased to say that some of our researchers are working on an innovation that will prevent shark attacks on surfers, which I'm sure will be good news to all the young people who ride their surfboards around the Australian coast. In fact, we have countless research projects underway, all of which have enormous potential to add to the world's knowledge and well-being. We're also proud of some of our new or relatively new facilities, including our Australian Hearing Hub, our library and our hospital. We're the only university in Australia which owns and operates its own hospital. But we have a lot more to do to make sure that all of our facilities are fit for purpose. That's why you probably wouldn't have seen it at night, but in the daylight you can sometimes be excused for thinking that you're visiting a war zone here. There's a huge big hole in the ground just behind me, which is the site of will be the site of our new central courtyard, which will house new food and beverage facilities, other social and study areas, as well as on-campus student accommodation. A little further away, our arts faculty building, one of our oldest, has been completely gutted and will be replaced by a new arts precinct, which will also include new spaces for our superb museums and galleries. So we're looking forward and we're on the move. Here at Macquarie, we have a very clear and straightforward mission, and that mission is to transform people's lives and to improve the lives not just of our own students, but also of people all around the globe by the work and achievements of our graduates and by the fruit of our research. We want Macquarie always to be a leader in teaching and learning and a leader in the accumulation of knowledge and understanding. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. And graduands, in just a few minutes, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you as lifelong members of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. Well, ladies and gentlemen and graduands, it's now my great pleasure to introduce our occasional speaker, Associate Professor John Lawrence. Professor Lawrence is Head of Technology at the Australian Astronomical Observatory. He completed his PhD at Macquarie University in the field of photonics before moving to the University of New South Wales as a postdoctoral fellow, developing instrumentation and control systems for Antarctic astronomical facilities. At the Australian Astronomical Observatory for the last 8 years, he leads a team of over 40 engineers, managers and scientists in a program to develop instrumentation for astronomical telescopes around the world. I now invite John to deliver the occasional address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Associate Professor John Lawrence.
Chancellor, members of the faculty, other staff, distinguished guests, graduates, and your family and friends. Thanks all for providing me the opportunity to address you. I feel quite honoured to actually have been asked this, to have a few words to say to you this evening. First of all, to the graduates, congratulations and well done. I now know from several perspectives what it's taken you all to get here, and it's a real big achievement you should be proud of. The vast majority of you have worked really hard, put many dedicated hours into study. Most of you have made a series of personal sacrifices along the way. Some of you have also had to overcome significant hardships in your life outside university. So a particular congratulations is due if that's the case for you. To the friends and family we see here today, to the graduates, a big thank you on behalf of the graduates. Your support in many different ways over many years has been a crucial element in allowing them to succeed at university and in their life more generally, I'm sure. So back to the graduates. Next up, I certainly don't propose that I'm some kind of fount of wisdom, but what I can give you is my perspective on some key insights and advice I've gained throughout my career that may prove useful to you. I've arrived at a list of 7 things I want to go through. Insight number 1, you've got no idea what's in store for you. So essentially I was standing in your place, or sitting in your place right here in exactly the same room in 1996 when I received my undergraduate degree from Macquarie in photonics. I remember well, my family and friends all came along. I had a real sense of achievement and celebration of the event. Had you asked me then what were the odds that 22 years later I'd be standing up here on the other side of the podium talking to a new group of graduates, I would have said, no way, that's not going to happen. So I think that's the case for you as well. You're not really sure where you're going to be in a couple of decades' time. Number 2, you may think learning is over, but in fact that's not the case at all. University teaches you all about and can test you, formally qualify your level of knowledge, maths and physics, in biology, chemistry, computing, whatever you're studying. But there's many other aspects of a career that make it successful, challenging and interesting. Things such as how you interact with colleagues, how you handle stressful situations, how do you make strategic decisions, how do you relate to your boss, what's your management style, how do you fit all this into family and personal relationships. All of that is up to you from here on out, and there's actually a lot to learn and you never stop learning all of that stuff. Next piece of advice is listen to advice, not necessarily mine. But of course it depends on who's doing the advising. So, I think what you need to do is actively seek out mentors throughout your career. When I first completed my degree, I had no idea what I was going to do. But I remember one comment from one of the Macquarie academic staff which really stood out to me. And I can't remember the exact words, but I know she said something along the lines of, "You're pretty good at this, why don't you think about doing research?" And that one sentence was enough encouragement to me to have a go at doing an honours degree and then essentially setting me off on a whole trajectory of study and my getting me to where I am at the moment. So you need to look out for those sort of opportunities and those comments from people who you respect. Number 4, do something interesting and don't be afraid of failure. Often the two come hand in hand. Interesting jobs and interesting opportunities are difficult to come by, and therefore you're risking failure if you try to obtain them. In my case, after another 4 or 5 years of study, I ended up again back in this room but wearing the red gown instead of the black one, and I received my PhD in physics. The PhD was great. I was playing with lasers up in that lab on the 2nd floor over there, but I wanted to do something different after that. So I applied for a research grant that most people told me was too difficult to get, you're wasting your time, it's going to be really hard. So somewhat contradicting what I said earlier, I didn't actually listen to any of them. I applied for the grant anyway and ended up getting it. This sent me off on another trajectory where I spent many years, a postdoc at UNSW, and similar opportunities presented themselves to me later on that I took advantage of, for example, when I came back to Macquarie as a member of academic staff for a few years. And then again when I went to my current position. So again, look for these opportunities and don't be afraid of not getting them. Number 5, and I think this is the most important one, it should all be fun. My career has sent me on some pretty amazing adventures over the years, all of this in the name of science. I flew to the South Pole in a US Navy Hercules aircraft in order to fix infrared telescopes. I ate snails on a French base in the middle of the high Antarctic plateau where I was building an atmospheric radar. In order to get there, I spent days on a Russian icebreaker vomiting into the Southern Ocean. I broke down in a jeep on a mountain in Tibet at about 6,000 metres altitude and ate yak in a yurt on the Tajikistan border while helping some Chinese astronomers look for a good site to build a telescope. Apart from Antarctica and China, I've designed scientific equipment for locations in Hawaii, in Chile, in Turkey. I've worked with teams in Canada, US, France, Italy, Germany, Korea, UK, Brazil. And throughout all this, I've worked with some amazing, intelligent, dedicated and humorous people. The one word that I can use to describe all these international endeavours is fun. All I can say to you is I would urge you to strive for your own version of this, whatever that may be. My next advice is find a career that inspires you to work 100-hour weeks, but don't do them very often. I think once a year is already too much on this. Clearly, many careers require you to have a very strong work ethic, to hit deadlines as they arise. And particularly at the start of your careers, there's going to be a lot of pressure on you to make a name for yourself. But working too hard is simply not sustainable for either yourself or for those friends and family who are here today with you. You should always thus aim to have some work-life balance in the future. Final insight I have is that Macquarie University is great. You'll all look back fondly at your time spent here as an undergraduate or as a postgraduate. Perhaps even some of you will come back for further study. Perhaps even some of you will come back as a member of academic staff and sitting on the podium back here. And perhaps even some of you will come back and give an occasional address to future graduates in 22 years' time, most of whom will not be born just yet. I'd like to finish by once again congratulating all the graduates. I really wish you all the best in whatever path you choose and wherever that path leads you. I hope for all of you that it's both exciting and fulfilling one. Thank you.
Well, thank you, John, for coming back to Macquarie to deliver the occasional address and for some very good advice. I was particularly taken with his suggestion that you should find a career that inspires you to work 100 hours a week, but don't ever do it. That is really good advice. You need a career that you like, and if you don't like it, look for a new career. But don't ever become addicted to work, because that's not fair to you, it's not fair to your family and your friends, and you have an obligation to live life and to enjoy it. So get that balance right, and I really do think that is good advice. So thank you very much, John. I think John deserves another great round of applause. Well, we now come to the key part of the ceremony, the reason we're here, and that's the conferring of degrees. Now, I did say earlier that there's nothing for you to worry about tonight, but this is the one part of the ceremony which makes me a little bit nervous, because I was told years ago by someone I went to Sydney University with more than 50 years ago, who subsequently became the Chief Justice of New South Wales, that if I conferred a degree on someone who was not entitled to receive it, it was very, very difficult for me to take it back. So I have to make sure that each and every one of you tonight is qualified to graduate before I confer your degrees. So I have to ask the registrar over there, Gail White, for an absolute ironclad guarantee that each and every one of you never was late in submitting an assignment and never skipped a class and are otherwise eligible tonight to graduate. Gail, can you give me those assurances, please?
Chancellor, I certify that all of the graduates being presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of the Academic Senate for the degrees they are to be awarded. Would all candidates for admission to degrees please stand?
That's you. Well, graduands, in the name of the Council of Macquarie University and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees for which you have qualified. Graduates, congratulations.
Please be seated. Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Science and Engineering, and I call on Professor Barbara Messerle, Executive Dean of the Faculty of Science and Engineering, to present the graduates. Professor Messerle.
Thank you, Registrar. Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Science and Engineering. This faculty teaches programs across the full breadth of the sciences and engineering. While there are many challenges facing the world, there are also endless possibilities to problem solve, think creatively, and change society for the better. From finding new ways to feed 10 billion people to fighting cybercrime and keeping our data safe, our researchers at Macquarie University are using innovative techniques to tackle global challenges. The faculty is committed to excellence in our teaching, in our research, innovation and engagement in science as well as in engineering. We conduct research that has significant impact on scientific knowledge and on the well-being and prosperity of individuals and societies. We provide an enriched student learning experience through scholarship and engagement to enhance employability. We have close links with industry and are building firm future partnerships, especially with companies located nearby in Macquarie Park. Australia needs more STEM graduates who have the skills to make real change and shape our collective future. So today is an important day where we celebrate our most recent STEM graduates. This ceremony includes graduates from the disciplines of physics and astronomy, computing, mathematics and statistics. Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Science and Engineering to whom you have admitted to degrees. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Actuarial Studies with the Bachelor of Science, Chuan Xin Fu. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the Bachelor of Science, Hakaran Kaur Kana. Lachlan James Marnoch. Michelle Ann Runham. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Lok Yin Chow. Byron Luke Greaves, who has been awarded the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence. Congratulations. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of E-Business, Lachlan Barker. Cameron James Bendel. Travis Michael Wormold. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering, Mikhail Israel Kim Elenon Yu. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Information Technology, Ammar Ahmed. Mustarin Alam. Zainab Tanwir Budarali. Michael Anthony Baker. Benjamin Barker. Partha Pratim Barua. Jeremy David Blackwood. Jasmine Brunsden. Terry Bui. Lewis Timothy Buston. Nicholas Alexander Carton. Daniel Robert Carty. Jackson Chung. David Jeffrey James Cook. Kamal Daleki. Jack Edward Davenport. Cameron Feltshear. Joshua Samuel Galea. Michelle Garn. Julian Thomas Grassi. Damon Guerrera. Joel Henry. David George Leonard Hicks. Shili Huang. Thomas Kelly. Danish Khan. Sunny Ning Zi Lang. Philip Madden. Sarina Kasmira Magandia. Raden Matopo. Madison May McKechnie. Harrison James McKenzie. Matthew Christopher Murphy. Crystal Nicola. Alexander O'Donnell. Alan Kwan and Pan. Peter Pinrode. Anthony Saisa-Navong. Nigel Salamanes. Yusha Wayne Samuel. Timo Levin Schmechel. David Sun. Sorry. Yang Sun. Albert Tandarayuana. Maria Paula Vargas Atayega. Brandon Sean Veracorn. Eleanor White. Xiaofeng Ye. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Information Technology, Games Design and Development. Joshua Paul Braco. Daniel Mark Brown. Jonathan Chung. Kwok Tuan Doan. Lachlan Lech. Liam Matthews. Paul Alexander Predney. Jason Ross. Kevin Son Tran. Mitchell William Wilcox. Sunny Yu Shu. Yiman Fion Yao. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Taylor Kate Beard. Matthew Brooks. Alexander John Cameron Burchett. Thomas David Fuchak. Kieran Gromowski. Luke Peter Ireland. Benjamin Paul Lawton. Brendan James Kevin Lynch, who has been awarded the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence. Rowena McIntosh. Nicholas Ma. Nicholas Murray Major. Omar Muhyiddin. Brendan Orenstein. Harriet Ingrid Marshall Owens. Conrad Rath. Ivan Sadavoy. Blake Lawrence Brian Staples. Benjamin Tew. Casper Wang. Tomo Watanabe. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Applied Statistics. Aidan Chan, who has been awarded the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence. Xian Guan, who has been awarded the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence. Kuruparan Mahadeva. Philip Milanovic. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Information Technology. Alani Ezekiel Akin Moses. Rahamad Refat Ali. Tatiana Galutskaya. Xiang Yuan Cao. Danyan Liang. John Kit Mark. Elaine Joyce Bustamante Massa. Subudungarile Mitchell. Shrika Nalarai. Mosinur Raman Shuvo. Nagarjuna Vankayalapati. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Research with Distinction and the University Medal for Computing, Natasha May Fernandez, for a thesis. You have to hear the thesis. For a thesis entitled A Novel Framework for Author Obfuscation Using Generalised Differential Privacy. Congratulations. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Research with Distinction and the University Medal for Mathematics, Joel Ross Couchman, for a thesis entitled Crossed Modules and Internal Categories of Lie-Reinhardt Algebras. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Research, Adam John Batten, for a thesis entitled Too Close Yet Too Far, Common Envelope Interaction of Triple Systems. Oliver Conquest, for a thesis entitled Nanoscale Raman Thermometry of Diamond. Stephen John Dunn, for a thesis entitled Brownian Motion of Magnetically Levitated Microsystems in a Vacuum. Bright Chabina Hagen, for a thesis entitled Discretizing Quantum Field Theory Using Wavelets. Andrew James Ross Adams, for a thesis entitled Intrinsic Optical Fibre Sensing Based on Integrated Mode Division Multiplexing. Connor Stewart, for a thesis entitled Instrument Characterization for Optical Activity Measurements in the Non-Paraxial Regime. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Dr. Rahman Aboud Al-Khala, for a thesis entitled OPLAX Actions and Enriched Icons with Applications to Colgebroids and Quantum Categories. Dr. Bajat Saeed S. Fakir, for a thesis entitled Cloud Adoption by Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, an Australian Study 2015 to 2016. Dr. Anna Gula for a thesis entitled Three-Dimensional Engineered Tissue Models for Experimental Nanotheranostics. Dr. Andrew Lehmann for a thesis entitled Multifluid Shockwaves in Molecular Clouds. Dr. Daniel Aidan MacDonald for a thesis entitled A Genetic Algorithm Approach to Characterising Post-AGB Circumstellar Environments. Dr. Yan May for a thesis entitled Studying Social Influence on Twitter. Dr. Yasaman Motazedi for a thesis entitled Realisation Ranking and a Word Ordering in the Context of Lesser Resourced Languages. Dr. Dat Gawap Nguyen for a thesis entitled Modelling Topics and Knowledge Bases with Vector Representations. Dr. Roberta Setiawan Aji Nugroho for a thesis entitled Incorporating Relationships Between Tweets for Topic Derivation in Twitter. Dr. Christy Pamela Robledo for a thesis entitled Statistical Algorithms for Semi-Parametric Variance Regression with Application to Biomarkers. Chancellor, that completes this evening's presentation of the graduates from the Faculty of Science and Engineering.
Chancellor, I call on Dr. Christy Pamela Robledo, who has graduated today, just now in fact, with a Doctor of Philosophy, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Dr. Robledo.
So, Chancellor, members of the university, fellow graduates and guests, it's such a privilege to be asked to speak here today on behalf of my fellow graduates. For some of you, it's been your first taste of university, whereas for others, like ourselves, it's the final chapter, hopefully, to our learning at university. It's bittersweet. It's finally finished, but at the same time, I'm really going to miss being a student. While statistics is not something for everyone, I've loved my time spent in the stats research over the past 4 years. For me, it's been perfect. A little bit of theory, a fair chunk of coding, and then the applications. The algorithms I've produced in my PhD will help other statisticians and then indirectly the other members of the community. I think that is why I really love clinical trials research, which is where I'm currently working, where I'm involved in studies that range from the decisions of treatment for premature babies, cancer, emergency medicine, and diabetes. Meanwhile, other statisticians are working in other fields of research, such as quality control, insurance, crop science, animal studies, genetics, and even in music. The talented staff and students of the Statistics Department have research going in a number of these fields and have been a fantastic network for me at my time at Macquarie University. Before I forget, I need to quickly mention supervisors. I know that there's PhD graduates in the audience and potentially future PhD graduates. And I really believe that one of the key ingredients to a successful and really enjoyable degree is your supervisor. I'd really like to give a huge thank you to my supervisor, Professor Ian Marshner, who unfortunately is watching the Commonwealth Games up on the Gold Coast at the moment. So instead, let me thank every other supervisor, teacher, mentor for what have been involved in our degrees today. And we all wouldn't be graduating here without our support network that has been around us during this time. All the family members and guests that have come here today to watch us complete this milestone. Completing a degree is challenging, to say the least. And I'm sure that we've all had late nights studying, completing assignments, trying to get everything done on time, whilst trying to maintain a life outside of university. We wouldn't have been able to do that without these special people around us, with their support, love, and words of encouragement. And on that note, I'd like to thank my family, especially my parents and my amazing husband, Joel. The love and support that you've provided me over this journey has been so important, and I can't thank you enough. Oh, and also thank you to this little guy. You probably can't see him at the moment. He's hiding. He's not yet running around in the aisles, but he's stayed in there, which is great. So in closing, I'd like to finish off with a quote by Albert Einstein. If we knew what we were doing, it wouldn't be called research, would it? Keep in mind, in our future work, our future learning, times can get tough, and sometimes there doesn't seem to be a way through the maze. But with perseverance, support, and at times some backtracking, we will get there. And for now, we've reached the other side. We've finished. And now it's time to congratulate ourselves and celebrate. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Christy, not only on your PhD, but also on your speech. I particularly liked that quote from Albert Einstein: if we knew what we were doing, it wouldn't be called research, would it? I'm going to remember that. Now, let me assure you that having done a PhD and having stayed up all night studying and will stand you in very good stead when the baby comes. I wish you the very best of luck. I think she deserves another great round of applause. And congratulations to Joel also. Well, I mean, that wasn't too bad, was it? That glorious voice, ladies and gentlemen, belongs to Angela Brewer. And you're very fortunate tonight that Angela was singing at our graduation ceremony. She sings at most of them, but every now and again, for one reason or another, Angela can't get here. And when Angela can't get here, I do the singing. So you're very lucky. I think she deserves another great round of applause. And as you could see, we have some fabulous musicians here. Dr. James Forsyth on the organ. Well done, James. And on the Chinese transverse flute, Dr. Chai Chang Ning. Now, I'm sure you've seen some of our alumni volunteers during the evening. They come along to our graduations to make sure that everything runs smoothly, and they do an absolutely fabulous job. Some of them have been here for 3 graduation ceremonies just today, so they must be exhausted. I'm sure you'd like to thank them as well. And sitting behind me are representatives of our academic community who, of course, have been absolutely vital in your journey through Macquarie. I'm sure you'd like to put your hands together for them too. Well, graduates, this ceremony marks the end of one stage in your relationship with Macquarie University, but it is certainly not the end of your association with Macquarie. From today on, for the rest of your lives, you are part of the bigger Macquarie family, which is our alumni, and part of the network of over 184,000 Macquarie alumni spanning the globe. We'll keep in touch with you through our alumni program, which is focused on lifelong learning, lifelong support, and lifelong connections. Our commitment to you is to help you keep in touch and engaged with Macquarie throughout your life. And graduates, please do make sure that you come back to Macquarie, either to undertake more study or to attend alumni events or use our aquatic and fitness facilities, or even if the mood takes you, just to enjoy a stroll through our lovely campus or enjoy a picnic down by the lake. Well, now, graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges, but like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. Believe it or not, you, each and every one of you, can change the world. And you don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner to do it either, because almost everything you do in your homes, in your workplaces, and in your communities matters and can make a huge difference. The consequences of every effort, every action, large or small, can reverberate throughout society, through the decades, indeed the centuries. Even something as simple as a kind word or a kind gesture can often be the spark that ignites a great life or a great career or a great achievement. So as Chancellor of Macquarie University, I charge you to use what you have learned, not only for your own benefit, but also for the benefit of the world we live in. I charge you to use the skills and knowledge you have acquired with rigour and integrity, and to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry. I charge you to recognise the worth and dignity of all people, particularly those who have not had the opportunities that you have enjoyed. I charge you to set high goals and to continue the hard work that has brought you so far. I charge you, wherever you go, go with all your heart. And in all you do, I charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. Now, graduates, I hope also that you'll always remember the people who've helped you along the way, many of whom, of course, are here with you today to help you celebrate your achievement. So to acknowledge their contribution and thank them for it, I'm now going to ask you to do just a couple of things. Graduates, would you now please stand? Now I'd like you to put your degrees on the seats behind you so that your hands are free. And I'd like you now to turn to face your families and your friends. And now I invite you to give them a mighty round of applause. Well, graduates can turn around now, but don't sit down because we'll be moving out in just a few seconds. Well, ladies and gentlemen, shortly I will lead the official party out through the centre aisle. We'll be followed by all of the graduates, and then I would invite all of you to join the procession down the centre aisle, out around the grounds and down to the Macquarie, where I hope you will all join us for some light refreshments. We have, of course, refreshments for the adults, but we also have some lovely things for the children. We have pink lemonade, we have ice creams, and we have fairy floss. And those treats are available not just to the children, but to anyone up to and exceeding my age. So please make sure you join us. Would you now all please stand, and please remain standing until the last graduate has processed out. Well, graduates, I wish you the very best for the future. And in the words of the old Irish blessing, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Graduates, good luck.